Hey there, Dr. Mark here, and today I'm answering the question a lot of you ask me, and even more of you are thinking, can you actually make money nutrition coaching? The answer is yes, but it may be hard to wrap your head around, especially if everyone that would be a good client is saying things like, I can't afford it, I'll sign up later, right now isn't a good time, or even worse, they ghost altogether. Which is why today I'm gonna show you step by step how to answer these questions so you can make money nutrition coaching. And even more importantly, how to put yourself in a position where you don't even hear these comments anymore. I recently had a conversation with the Dr. Marc Method nutrition coach who was just starting our program, and he was having a hard time getting potential clients to convert. He asked me some really good questions, so I wanted to share the answers with you because I know you'll benefit. Okay, so what happens when a potential client says, I can't afford that? This one is super common, so I'm glad we're starting with this one. The first thing you need to realize is that nothing is too expensive. I kid you not, and I know this might feel just outlandish, but there's someone out there charging 10 times more for the exact same coaching service, like the exact same thing you're gonna deliver with check-ins and the approach, 10 times more than what you wanna charge. The issue isn't that people see this as too expensive. They just don't see the value in it yet. They don't see you as the legitimate solution to their problems. So there's a few ways to do that and deliver on that so that they see you as the person that can help them and then it's no longer too expensive. You could just, it might take more time to warm them up through your free content, your free process, your social media content, maybe some sort of freebie or something like that that's actionable that they can benefit from. Or you just need to do a better job in that conversation, in that situation to show them why you have the solution, why that you can actually deliver on this stuff, talking about what they've tried in the past, what they like and dislike now, and how, just through listening to them, how you're going to provide a solution that's going to work for them now. Nothing is too expensive. And if anything, we also want to validate that your price isn't too cheap because those that pay attention. And when things are more expensive, people perceive them as more valuable. So it's one of those things where if it's too cheap, they might not see it as the solution either. So we wanna make sure that we're checking all those boxes. Okay, so the next thing is when someone says they don't have time. Very, very common. The nutrition coaching industry, the things that are important to us, we've done a really bad job at portraying what this process will take. You need tons of dedication, you need to earn it, you need to work really hard, discipline, all that stuff. A lot of times we've made this seem like it's way too much work and no one wants to spend their hard-earned money to dedicate themselves to something that's gonna take a lot of time and it's gonna be a lot of effort. So you wanna make sure that you don't position it that way. Even if it will take all those things, that person is willing to take the time and do the work once they see what's in it for them. You just can't position it like that. So you wanna make sure that when you're having these conversations, when you're having sales conversations and stuff, that you actually present it as something that is not going to take all of their time. The other thing you can do is get them started on some sort of process for free so that they can, see how this would work into their lives and see what the commitment looks like and that type of thing. Because people aren't gonna, what they're really thinking is that this is gonna be just a pause on their life and they're gonna have to focus all their energy on that when that's really not the case. And that's exactly why we do the free nutrition client report, is to show them how this will fit into their lives. Now, this is a good moment to tell you about one specific, very effective step we have in the Dr. Marc Method to get clients to convert. We call this process the free nutrition client report. And if you haven't downloaded yet, here is your chance to get it completely for free, where I'll show you how to take people that are curious about nutrition coaching and convert them to paying clients through a step-by-step process. Go to the first link in the description here and you can download it for free. Now back to the video. Oh yeah, super common when someone asks, I gotta talk to my spouse or my partner. In a lot of cases, this is probably just someone trying to put you off and they don't wanna say no. But there's other ways around it. This could very much be the case. People need to make joint financial decisions, so they need to talk about it, which is completely understandable. So there's a few things you can do. If you truly believe that the partner is part of the resistance, ask to get them involved. Bring them in on a call. Bring them into the conversation about what that would look like. Because a lot of times that other person is on board with them achieving a specific result, solving a problem, and being happy about it. Just as good as if you're in that conversation, you can ask them, what would your partner or spouse think, or anyone helping you make the financial decisions, a parent or whatever it is, if you were able to achieve this result and how it would pay off in your life and how that would make you feel. would they be happy about it? And if so, then there's your answer. Absolutely talk to them about it, but think about how, they want to see you happy and what that would look like. So don't let that be the thing that stops you or gets in the way. Have a conversation about it. Yes, when someone says, I have to think about it. The thing about our services as nutrition coaches is a lot of times that we are, doing everything online. So it is somewhat flexible. Although you have constraints on how many total clients you can work with, our clients don't always perceive it that way. They think they can start at any time, and you really don't want your services to be, a revolving door where people could start at any time, sign up at any time, or just treat it that way. The thing that you need to do when people need to think about it is absolutely think about it. Take some time, make sure that this is the right move. Go with your gut. Think about how this is going to pay off, and the time frames and all that stuff. But then set a deadline, because deadlines drive decisions. You don't want to get stuck in maybe land. That will be the death of you. No is not the worst answer in the world. Obviously, yes is much better, but at least no, then you can focus your energy on other people. But they're not going to make a decision unless you make it a priority. So we want to position it that way. So it's one of those things where, hey, I think this is a great fit. This is what coaching would look like. I'm happy to save you a spot until X date. Then you need to let me know, or I can give the spot to someone else. When you make a deadline, it now makes it a priority. What do you say when someone says it's not a good time? Very good question. Thing is, it's never a good time, and we don't want to go too far down the path of going into someone's priorities, because that's not really their business. They need to come, our business, they need to come to that conclusion themselves. But you need to take a moment, and not being bad cop or anything, but you really want get them to think about what happens if they don't do anything at all, which is what's going to happen if they don't sign up. Do things get better? Do they actually do some of these things on their own? Do they get worse, which is the likelihood of the situation? What you need to do is give them a moment to visit the consequences of their actions if they don't make a move, which is, in reality, a lot of times is things don't improve. And what they need to do in that moment is take the first step forward in this process and sign up and work with you so that things can get better. Because if they don't, things will ultimately get worse, and there are consequences to that, and this problem doesn't go away. If anything, it becomes a bigger issue in their lives, and sometimes can't be reversible. So they got to get started, right away. Now, if the timing isn't good at all, they really do truly have a bunch of things going on. You don't have to be a crazy salesperson and just say you got to do it now, that type of thing. If it really isn't, they're moving across the country, across the world, there's deaths in the family, there's, huge time constraints, that type of thing. Ask them when would be a good time so that you can follow up at that time. That is going to go a long way, and it doesn't mean that the relationship is lost. There just might truly be a better time. So once you present it that way, that, the consequences of them not making a move and it's still not a good time, talk about when would be a good time. Have I ever guaranteed something? Absolutely have guaranteed things. This comes down to having conviction around my coaching services are going to work, and having a results-based business, and having a track record for results. So I feel confident I can deliver on that. But guarantees can be really great to get people to make that decision, because it removes some of the risk from them. I personally wouldn't do a money back guarantee, but I would do a results-based guarantee. You want to base it on a few things, that they're actually going to do the work. So there's stipulations around, you have to listen to everything I say. This is what it would look like for you to stick to the plan. You need to do all of the check-ins. You need to make sure that you're following up with that stuff. So some stipulations around that. But then a result would take the risk away from the client. Alex Hormozi actually talks about this in his book, $100 Million Offers, I think, and making an offer that includes a guarantee that is so good that they would be stupid if they said no, right? It removes all the risk for them. So if you're doing something like weight loss, and you have a key payoff like losing 20 pounds, you could put it, based on a time frame as well. Lose 20 pounds, based on their goal as an individual, or if you have a marketing approach where you know what that result is, lose 20 pounds in the next 6 months, or I'll work with you until you do. That removes all the risk from that. So guarantees do make sense, and maybe it's time to develop one of those. Yes, when people ask you, they've done similar things in the past, or they invested in a coach, or they've done a program and they never really achieved what they wanted. When people are asking you this, they just don't trust you yet. They don't see you as a solution. So you can always go back to that free nutrition client report and show them how you're going to help them get results, get a quick win in the process, and they're just going to be much more likely to want to get involved and take that next step and trust you and see kind of how you operate. But this is also a great opportunity to dive into what sets you apart and what makes you different and what's going to make this time different. I think the first thing I would do is kind of get them nodding their head that it's a terrible situation to invest your money in things and not get a result. And that can be someone else's fault. It could be no one's fault. It could be just not the right system or structure. But I would acknowledge that would be the first thing, is that, hey, it's never fun to invest your money in things and not see it pay off. I've been there. It's terrible. Here's what I think is going to be different about this time and why it's going to work for you will be the biggest thing. So get them to agree with you, get them nodding their head, that kind of thing, by getting on their side and then talking about what's going to be different. That would be one of the best things you can do when someone brings up a past program or something like that. As you may have noticed, many of these questions and answers are sales related. Just the thought of sales may make you feel icky, but it's completely necessary if you want to make money in nutrition coaching. But here's how to do it. Making sales isn't hard when you position your nutrition coaching the right way. Have some conviction that you will deliver results, and just simply have the right things to say. So I hope you found this video helpful. But as great as all these tips are, if you're really serious with starting a nutrition coaching business, the next thing I'm gonna have you do is check out this video I've linked up right here. These sales conversations are gonna be so much easier when you've set the perfect nutrition coaching price, and I'm gonna show you exactly how to do that in the next video right here. So make sure to check it out now, and I'll see you in the next video.